on show day. Might miss the mark.
Real Canadian bacon.
Did it say real Canadian bacon?
No, I said real Canadian
Okay,
bacon.
because that didn't look like it.
This is bacon.
It's bacon and brain. So it's real Canadian bacon.
Show day for Toronto Pro. It's finally here. Thank you all that have been following my daily YouTube vlogs of these things. So we made it, and I'm super excited. It's been kind of like mentioned this Groundhog's Day for me. Started carb loading 3 days out and just keep needing high food. So it almost made it easier in a way for me, and it's why I started early. But now I pretty much have my exact plan going in today, because every day I've done the same thing and it looks really good. So went to bed at 2:35, which was my heaviest, came down to 2:31, which was the exact same thing as yesterday. So pretty much I already have the plan I did yesterday for 2 meals in, 75 ounces of fluid, and go out on stage, because when I pump up, that looked really good. So for this morning, I'll get my normal fluids in to start the day. 16 ounces of water. I drink one of these coffees. I've had my first meal around 8:30, and then go do some tanning, and that'll pace me out to my next meal, and should be pretty close to stage time around then. Only change food-wise today is that I've started moving towards more dense foods to keep the volume really small, to keep my waist more controlled. So it's kind of moving more towards like dried fruits and like Rice Krispie treats. Nothing special about these, like their special sugar ratios or anything like this. It's just simply that they keep a very small food volume. So I'm trying to balance that out. So that's really the only change food-wise, but macro-wise, it'll be very close to yesterday. We are just in the wait and chill spot, which it feels like the slowest part of the day, the entire week. But just watching the live stream right now, which is great because you get an idea of how soon you might be going on, so we can just chill in the room and just go down right when enough time before, and you don't have to sit backstage for too long. But also get to see the stage, kind of plan, the oil and the walkout and bits and pieces that you might have unknown if you weren't able to have time to watch it. But there's a lot of competitors, so it's looking like we're gonna probably go on a bit later, which might push me having to do like 3 meals for the day, but before prejudge. So we'll see. We'll just see the schedule, and I know where my weight needs to sit at, my visuals, so I can toggle my food and fluids as I need to. We'll just chill out some more and eventually get to stage. For me to coach, educate, and be an athlete as well at this level, it's taken, for one, just building a lifestyle that 100% caters to it from morning to night. So to do this and have like a normal 9-to-5 job, man, to potentially even have kids or like an extensive social network that was taking me away from a lot of this could be really challenging, because it does feel like from the time I get up to go to bed, it's nonstop, whether it's working on J3U lectures or educating, building content, but then also having the time to put into the gym, and really bodybuilding is kind of 24/7. Like your sleep quality matters, the stresses of life matter. So it all adds up into trying to compete at this level, and knowing too, like I have a finite number of years left in this that I can't waste any time. So this is like good working years for me to build my business, but at the same time, it's good bodybuilding years, which one can kind of take away from another. So like during prep, like I've gotten my work down to like 5 hours a day, which isn't much, but it has to take so much priority in this competitive time. But on the other side of that, you need to harness this competitive time to also build your business. So it's trying to juggle between these two to accomplish both. But I think in my current position, I've really been able to manage them well. But it takes just 100% being all in, and also a spouse that's committed to it as well. I don't think it could ever work without that type of partnership and support from someone else either, because they just wouldn't understand the level of commitment that's needed to juggle all these things.
Right, we just got backstage. Finals has been pushed back and back and back because there's a lot of pros here. But we got here early, started the men's division. So we're just gonna chill, probably about 20 minutes. I'll get my last meal in, something small, and pump up and do this thing.
All right.
Some bikini girls chasing me down. This is for you, so you can see the glaze on me.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want you standing against that. Just
Oh, well, whatever. Want to stand here?
I just want to stand in the middle.
I got you. It looks pretty good.
Give him a couple days. Drops the body, it looks just like.
I feel like when you get more in your shoulders,
Yeah.
kind of dry.
Okay. And we'll bring it with us back there and right, oiled up. Time to go hit prejudging and tear it up out there.
a song play while someone's doing a thing, you won the lottery. Like the way that shit just worked out, that was pretty cool. I had to come and say it was awesome.
Not just dead silent out there. It's like, y'all like this? I don't know. It's like, come on, guys. I wish you could see it, right? Like, just don't know.
Hi, I've been following you, watching your YouTube, and
Nice to meet you.
I follow you well, so
Thank you.
congrats. Good job.
It felt good posing. Felt like I was nailing my shots how I should, and felt good. So just head to finals and see what we do. That's it.
You didn't get winded and just like,
No, let it all hang out.
yeah.
Start out angling then.
Yeah. Shit. Yeah, really good stuff. I'm Braden, by the way.
Oh yeah, you haven't even met him.
Yeah, no,
That's right.
And this is my girlfriend, Steph.
Nice to meet you.
Nice stuff. John,
meet
nice to
you.
meet you.
Jared. Nice to meet you. Yeah. Nice to meet you. Yeah. How'd it feel?
Oh, it felt solid up there.
Yeah.
Everything real controllable, and I feel like I was hitting the shots well, so nothing to change.
Awesome. Yeah. nothing really, other than just stepping up a bit. That's about it. Yeah.
Back from prejudging. What a experience. Felt awesome to walk out on stage. Just moments before, just extremely confident and in like it sounds so hippie. I feel like I was in this zen place, like not nervous, not overly amped, just in my zone. That's how I always feel before going on stage, but it gives me a lot of control when I'm out there. And walking out felt great. Felt like I owned my space and hit my poses how I wanted to. I haven't seen any shots yet, even from prejudge, but just going through the poses, they felt controlled. And also, like, I had good waist control, able to run through shots, not get gassed. And the outcomes was good. So I was in the first call out and moved around in it seems like the middle spots. So we'll get to back to finals and kind of see where this plays out. But I feel great so far with the look that I brought. Of course, I need to see the actual visual shots, but it's one of those experiences where you wish you could be on stage and in the crowd at the same time so you can see how it looks, but you'll never have that. So, but either way, I feel like so far very happy with how prejudging went. We'll see how finals goes. The biggest changes for how I approach prep, competing from when I first started till now, we all start as almost hobbyists. You don't think of yourself at the time of it being kind of your side hobby. It's what you think about all day long, but you have all these other things that have to take your mind away from bodybuilding. And also just had a lot of distractions then that were uncontrollable, people in my life that weren't allowing me to see out fully what I wanted to do in bodybuilding. So it was much more of a struggle earlier on, feeling like I had to fit it in. And now bodybuilding transitioning at this level is more choosing what I want to fit in around bodybuilding. So it's like very much a paradigm shift, but to compete at this higher level, that's the shift you should be seeing and hopefully seeing as you like progress up in the ranks. I've started in bodybuilding when it was like, we first started and it was like brown rice is like the key thing, right? You had these very dogmatic bodybuilding approaches is like you had to have brown rice, like no condiments were allowed. I had like eating dry pasta and beef with like no sauce and stuff like this. So it was very strict dieting initially. Also mentality was like to outwork everyone, which is great, but also it can lead you to make poor decisions and just train harder than you should be, doing excessive work that doesn't lead to greater outcomes. So more work isn't always better. So where this has transitioned into the flexibility and sustainability in bodybuilding, which that doesn't sound hardcore when I say it, but when you're able to do this consistently for 10 plus years without having the dips and breaks and burnouts and things is where you lead to being a high level physique where we're now on the brink of maybe winning a pro show, maybe getting to the Open Olympia. So you need something that can be sustainable and flexible, and that's where I've seen my nutrition and training change the most. That I have a diet I enjoy year round, where whether it's prep or off season, it's pretty reflective of the same, just different amounts. And I don't do stereotypical bodybuilding foods of just the old brown rice and boiled chicken and things. So I make very enjoyable food. With my training approach, I'm still relatively strict as I was then with log booking. However, I realize like a lot can work too, and more so understanding when to pull back in training. Because for me, it was like all gas pedal until something broke. And now I realize like how to pull back. And the biggest limiting factor over the years was injuries. And it only gets worse as you get older. So this has been my biggest string of time without a major injury, and also the most progress I made because I have my trainings in a sustainable way. So those things have vastly improved my bodybuilding, for one, enjoyability, and if you enjoy it, you'll do better at it. So
I would say don't think you have to stay in the dogmatic approaches and things that you don't enjoy to a degree. Within this, you have to go getting uncomfortable and doing things you might not want to be doing, but need to be doing for your physique as well.
I think either way, it's just like,
Thank you so much. You were the screensaver on my phone before my first show last year.
I missed some pose in there. Went too fast. I'm pulling on my back because they look kind of dry on stage. It's okay?
it looks good here.
The most of the meaning of the world, and it's not about what you go through in your life. And what happened was, he was on dirt, it was like the road was dirt, and he lost control. From you. We also have Kyle Landy, who's also going to be presenting the award.
Why don't you all go out there?
Did you want to go out?
Yeah,
Watch him.
go watch. Just go through the curtain.
John Jewett. In fourth place, number 478, Robin Strand. In third place, number 148, John Jewett. In second place, number 146, Quinton Aria. And your winner, number 479, Akeem Williams. gentlemen, front double bicep.
Well, I know it's, of course, you want to win always. You don't train for third place. But I'm always so proud every time he steps on that stage, and I just love seeing him on stage. Like, he just lights up, and you can tell that he absolutely lives for bodybuilding, and I kind of just like feed off of his energy. I mean, I love seeing him on stage more than I ever liked being on stage myself, so.
Finals is over. So third place at the Toronto Pro. It's seeing, like I mentioned at Prejudging, and my photos of how I looked on stage, comparing back to my last shots, like what I never wanted to do was get on stage again like I had in the past a long time ago and see a lesser physique. And from Legion to now, I can honestly say I feel like this physique would devour the one that I brought in just in October. So I've made tremendous progress, and I feel like it's also reflected in my stage photos too. So that's already the win in itself as a bodybuilder. Keep improving that X-frame look, bringing more muscularity, adding improvements to the areas that you want to nail. Is it the outcome I wanted? Well, no. Of course it's a little disappointing. My goal is to win an open show and go to Olympia. So that goal was not achieved here, but it's just continued road. It's part of the process and the journey, and it's really easy to get off stage and just let it just tear you up and beat you up. And you can't do it because you never know who's going to show up, how you're going to pair against the others. And if you made improvements, like, you have to just weigh heavily into those wins. And I feel like, at least for my peak as well, like everything I've done throughout this week, I was super confident in how it translated to the stage. I know when you look at maybe stuff that's posted on Instagram and then you look at stage photos, you might say like, oh, did you miss the mark or your peak? And it's like, that's how that look translates to stage. And I think we have to realize that when you have tan on, stage lights on, and different backgrounds and bright stage lights, it looks a lot different. But the peak carried through well. I feel like I nailed the peak as far as that goes. My tan went well, oil, glaze, all this stuff went really well. So overall the process was good. I stayed behind. I got feedback from Becky, the head judge, and also Paul as well. And their feedback was like it was really close between the top three. And Paul was basically like, if it had to really like get nitpicky, because that's how it would have to be. He's like, John, you're very complete. He's like, you're a smaller framed individual, so you do need to still build out some more overall size. He's like, you could add a little more onto your quad sweep because your inner thigh is really large. So more quad sweep. You say more just chest size, then also a little bit more thickness throughout my middle back, which would help with some of the detail in those shots as well. He's like, but it's minor stuff. He's like, your presentation, posing, everything was well done. Conditioning was right on par with where we wanted, and encouraged me to go on to Vancouver. So where will I do? I don't know yet. I'll probably do Vancouver, but I just need to sit with it and digest it a little bit, take the moments of doing this show and the enjoyment of this process that I had with Renee and Clinton, the videographer that's putting this together, and enjoy just the post-show moments and just have some life of trying to be a normal person, not a bodybuilder. Enjoy some good food and sit with it, let the emotions kind of come down, and be logical about what should be the next steps for my physique. And for all of you that have followed along on this peak week journey, we worked really hard to try to put out a daily video to keep y'all engaged in this process and the journey. It's a lot of work, but I love the work that I do. It doesn't feel like work, And thank you all for just following along. I hope you gained some value from it in your own journey. You can carry it on to your own competitions. And thank you all so much.
So to walk away from bodybuilding, I've thought about this question for a few years now, because I'll be 38 in just a few weeks. And that's not relatively old in bodybuilding. There's guys that are kind of in their peak right now, or getting right into the early 40 area, but I realize I'm on the tail end of this. I'm not 28. And so coming up with these questions of like even continuing 212 or going to the open, I had to be like, could I walk away from 212 and not even do this open journey and be happy with what I've done, look back without regrets? And honestly, I could say that I could. I've achieved way more than I ever thought that I would. You know, my first show was just hoping to fit in and not be last, which is a crappy way to have your goal set. It's just guarding yourself from failure is what that goal setting is. And I could walk away at this moment and be happy with what I've done on stage. I've achieved like a high level physique and have some amazing memories. My first Olympia was the highlight already of my competing. Felt like I stepped on top of the Mount Everest and saw the view of the world. So I could, and also I've gained the respect of just the fitness community to have a level and voice as an educator. So the things that I've done, I have a platform now to help people. And that's really like the legacy that I know that I'll leave. And I feel like my competitive rankings are well established to still be able to do that. From a personal perspective though, moving to the open, there was still always a question of like, is there a greater physique out there for me? Like, what's your greatest potential? And that's why I explored that last year, to see what that would be. And seeing it, realizing how far past 212 it could reach, makes you want to go back and have done it earlier. But that's okay, no regrets there either. I don't believe in having regrets, because you can't change those things. But it's exciting. So, you know, every show I look at moving forward is just a way to, you know, further be at peace with walking away from bodybuilding. So I take this even as like, if this was my last show, could I walk away and be fine with it? And that's why I put everything into these preps in case that was to happen, because you don't know when it might be taken away from you. But I could walk away at this moment and be extremely happy and content with what I've done in bodybuilding. What would I like to achieve though? Well, having done the Olympia in 212, being top 5, and experiencing what the Olympia was like for the first time, I want that experience in the open. So I truly just still see that as the highest level. So win a pro show and walk onto the open Olympia stage, I would completely could walk away from bodybuilding and be over the moon with that. Now that's just the external outcomes, but from a mentality perspective, you know, I have to say, like, seeing what looked like was the greatest physique for myself as well, because I realized like maybe you don't ever win a pro show, and that was a reality going from 212 to open, and maybe never going to the Olympia again. So could those be goals I should set on my accomplishments? It should be more so that I saw out like a peak in my physique. And so I think doing these next shows, seeing that and realizing, wow, you blew away every past show that you ever done, you can walk away and be so happy with that, even though maybe your placings weren't as great. But if you beat every look you had, that's a tremendous accomplishment. So I could walk away now and be happy, but I got a little bit more left to do for myself.